It's overwhelming. It was really fun to kind of sneak inside and watch the players walk in, because they hadn't seen this place. A few of them saw it with drywall, but not the way it looks today. So it's awesome. It is the home for the next 50 years, and it's just a great day because it's not only for the guys behind us, but for the public too. I mean, you can see we're not blocking people from watching. It's exactly like we've always been. We don't have closed doors here, so it's going to be awesome.
Craig, what does it do for team building in terms of like free agents and things that people want to come here and play? They see this facility. It's just
Let's put some pressure on me. I mean, look, players are the best advertisement we have, and their social media is way, way grander than anything that I'm going to say or do. But when players talk, other players listen, and when you've got a facility that is hands down the best, it speaks for itself. And the more people see of this place, and the more people talk about this place, it's going to be pretty clear that our players believe this. They're in the number one place.
Similar question, I suppose. Just being out here, I mean, how much is it going to help them on a day-to-day? Have this facility, have these fields, have everything right here, and have it be all state-of-the-art like this?
Well, this is where I'll go back and put my GM hat on. So this is where the standards have been very high, and this is where the standards now escalate even more, because our ownership group built this place, but they built it on hard work, and they built it on legacy that they've created for themselves. And so translating that into the players to provide a facility like this, but then to remind them the expectations are what this club has always stood for. It's solid in the community, solid on the field, and championships.
Love it. Just throw around the word state of the art. What is that? Like, what's state of the art that you have in there for the players?
Well, I would, oh man, I don't think they're going to be left wanting between, cryotherapy and there's so much technology in there that I don't understand because I played so long ago. It's a bit archaic to talk about taping ankles and things like that. That was the extent of treatment when I played. But this facility is state of art and it will be. We'll continue to upgrade it as we go.
Does that also mean, like, do you have a psychology department?
Oh, that's yeah. We've had nutrition and sports psychology and psychology for several years now, and that's a cornerstone, to be honest. Something that we've believed in for years, and something that, frankly, in terms of the day-to-day pressures that these guys have, it's a massive piece for their success.
Just like the players are they have a lot in the building to do what they need to do. How about for the fans? What is in the building for the fans?
Well, there's a ton of history. It's not finished. This is day one. There's day 2, day 3, day 4, and several weeks and months and years to come. So there's a lot that's still going up on walls. There's a lot that's still going to be shared in terms of community. But I don't want to give away all the secrets because they're not finished today.
Craig, the opener's coming up pretty soon here. What's the team looking like? How far along are you guys where you want to be after Spain?
I think, look, it's a really balanced roster when you look at it on paper. It's a really talented roster. It's got goals in it. It needs to have more goals than last year, right? But the balance of the roster is solid. We're still working towards full health like any MLS team. The offseason is very, very short. I mean, we have players that were injured at the end of last season, which wasn't that long ago, that are just now recovering from some of those injuries. So we'll be a little knocked up on day one, but we'll battle through, and the balance of this roster is going to speak for itself, I think, over time.
Better depth? Is that what I know is part of the goal?
Depth is an interesting word. I think the balance, the quality of players that the coaches have to select from is a little bit deeper this year, but also it balances itself out in different ways. The skill sets of the players aren't like for like anymore, so they'll be able to change tactically as well.
Just larger picture, just momentum of the game in our city, whether it's CONCACAF, whether it's this new facility, and obviously 2026 as well. Just how, and New Crest this year, of course, I don't want to forget that.
Yeah.
How special is the momentum right now for this game in Seattle?
It's a runaway right now. I mean, it is hard to keep up with the momentum soccer has in Seattle. You look at 25 with our club being the first MLS club to play in the new version of the Club World Cup. The World Cup coming, our seasons, our fan base, it feels like I'm hanging onto the tow rope behind a speedboat right now, but as I start pulling myself back towards the boat, we'll catch up and get some results.
Craig, with the World Cup here, this location is going to be almost certainly a training site for one of those national teams. What would it be like for you to give a national team general manager a tour of your facility and say, you've got this for a few weeks?
Well, we certainly anticipate this being the home training ground, and I've walked through it a few times, and I think any club or country that walks through it is going to want to be here. It'll be special for us to be able to share this with someone else from somewhere else in the world. It'll be really nice to get their feedback, how they do things. There's always some trade secrets when you walk through a facility and you hear players talk about what they like, what they don't like. If you listen close enough, you'll pick up. So I actually think that's an opportunity for us to make this even better.
Is that a process right now that being not sorry? What is the process of a team being able to use this for?
Well, that's where FIFA comes in. FIFA gets to decide that, and I don't get to work for them or vote. So they'll go through their whole process, and we'll find out soon enough.
How would you compare this to the facility that you trained on when you were playing here? Or the facilities, I should say.
Here we go.
Yeah, so I feel like this is where you overlay the glory days from Bruce Springsteen. When I played for the Sounders, we trained at 4 or 5 different facilities. We trained in Federal Way, Renton, Seattle, and even then it wasn't one place in each city. So this is a far cry from when I played, but it's a natural evolution of what this region brings to the game and the support. And I mean, this was, even then it felt inevitable that soccer was going to be whatever soccer was going to be in the U.S. was going to be really special here. And I think this is a unique pocket. We are a bit of a geographic island in terms of how we break out from the rest of the country. We like to be unique, and this is certainly one of those days.
Greg, compared to other facilities you've seen around the league, what's unique and stands out about this facility?
What's really unique about this facility is how we were able to construct the inside specifically for player success. They basically own the front half of the building here. All of our staff on the second floor and in what would be the east-facing side of this building is really set in order for the players to see this field every day from the gym, from the player lounge, walk out of the locker room right onto the field. I mean, this is, from a psychological statement, they're always going to be engaged from the second they pull in that parking lot.
Craig, Defiance are on the field over there. Defiance and the academy, senior academy players were here for kind of the walkout of
Yep.
the first team. What's it mean to have a higher level of vertical integration?
Well, this facility single-handedly connects everything, right? I mean, for years and years and years, we've done a really good job of growing and developing young players, but to have the access, the locker rooms are all connected. Everything's connected inside. So it's not only the visual sight lines, but the emotional sight lines, the physiological sight lines, the gyms and everything else. And when we can pull guys simply through a gate for training, instead of having to have them go from one side of a complex to another, it's going to make a huge difference over time.